Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's Denny today? Okay. Can we stand and have our prayer, flag, four-way test, and get our meeting going? Let's bow our heads for a word of prayer, please. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us and for all the blessings that we enjoy. Thank you for everyone who's here today, and ask that you would be with those that are traveling and not able to make it for whatever the other reasons might be. We also ask that you would bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies, and bless those the hands that prepare. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Please be seated. Great to see such a nice group today. Thanks for being here. Anybody got a happy dollar? Let me guess. Second Friday. Again?
Second Friday. This is Friday. Couple things. Like if you go downtown, you put the tables together. That's fine. We'll try to get them all together, 3:30, 4 o'clock. But leave them on the sidewalk until I get all the food trucks in place. And then when we do pull them out on the street, we're gonna try to leave all the space from Beatty's up to Mill Street open, because I think we're gonna have a really huge crowd. And before we get tables up there, then we're gonna have to pull them back, so just leave them back, we can always pull them up. And then, St. Louis parking lot, the Rotary tent can go up anytime, 3:30, whenever. Father's gonna have a beer wagon there, and they're going to do a hot dog and brat stand, so that'll all be set up early. And I need like 4 people. You said you won't get there probably till 5. Yeah. I should have like about 4 people, 3:30, 4 o'clock, so that we can start. I think we're gonna have a lot of new vendors, so that we can just get them into position. And Mary said she would help, and anybody, and you can help. And I did print out a whole paper this time, that somebody can be at the entrance on Mill Street, and when everybody that comes in, give them a paper, and it says name, address, phone, blah, blah, blah. Where before I had it on a notebook and I was checking off and didn't know who was who. This way they can fill it out, and when we go around to collect the money, they will hand us that, and we will have all that information. And, I mean, after 4 years, I'm finally getting wise how to do this. Yes.
I'm happy to let you know 2 or 3. 2? 2 set up? 2. We have 2 Rotary Youth Ambassadors coming to help us set up the farmers market. They'll be there around 4, so they can help with that. And we also have 3 at 8 to help people take things down. And we will have some people helping with tables before and after too. So like 2 or 3 youth exchange ambassadors. These are the new ones for next year. So they can get their feet wet. They're all like, juniors, seniors, and high school.
That's super, because I told you there'd be people around like to help us set up their tents and everything. Yep. We do, I need to talk to a couple people like early, so we can get a flow of how to set them. Andy's bringing me a lot of cones, so I'll have them, set up for the band, set up for their food truck down there and their beer wagon and all that. And then we'll just have to, because the youth group from down there at the far end near that building is gonna set up activities. So we just have to coordinate that whole thing down. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you. What a successful night.
Thank you.
Chance of rain Friday is about 20%. So if for some reason we would get a rain out this year, the band will be playing in the Eagles upstairs. So if you could put Rob out. Well, there it is. If you could mention maybe a rain, in case of rain, go to the Eagles. They don't get the Eagles.
Yeah, we had a whole process that we did last year. We put a big post out, we're moving or something like that, I think.
Yeah, it was so bad nobody left their house. It was, the rain was going sideways.
What do you do with that?
They most of them won't even come. So, I'm not on it. But just, you know, pass the word.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Yes.
Although we're sad to see her go, I'm happy that we had Flavie with us this year, and I'm sure we wish her all a very easy return back to Belgium. We will miss you.
I just want to give a shout out to some of our Louisville athletes this past week. Two of our softball girls and one of our baseball, Cooper Rice, and then Leah Cloggis and Addie Campbell have all been named in the YSN All-Star game out at YSU in Senate Park. And then, of course, Kyla Myers going to state and placing 15th in the 1600, and Hayden Williams placing 4th in the, was it the 100? I know he competed in 2 events down there. I think it was the 400. It was the 400 he placed 4th. That's phenomenal. He placed 4th state. So,
Cool, thank you.
Yep.
You already introduced Flave, our 2 guest speakers. We'll do in a little bit. I guess that's everybody. So next up is Rotoball. It's Flavie, in honor of your being here. You can pull the magic ticket and make somebody really happy today. Pick a name, any ticket. Can you read it? Who? Really?
That's not up.
Sounds a little suspicious to me. Takes what it's in. Don't spend it all in one place. Roll it back in. All right. Thank you. You get a $7 tax deduction. All right. New business. 2 weeks from today is our annual Rotary banquet next door. We've got, not sure exactly how many people signed up. Between Glenn and I, we have to get the list, but somewhere between 70 and 80 people have signed up to be there. So we're kind of excited about that. Dave Yost contacted Mr. Edwards today, or his office, and wants an agenda and some other stuff. So we're working to put that together. It's time to do that anyway. If you are not signed up and you want to attend, it's fish, chicken, or steak. And there's a sign-up sheet here. It's probably going to go around in about 30 seconds because most everybody signed up. But I will put this out. If you want to sign up, if you can, that's great. If you can't sign up, if you're not coming, that's fine too. Should be good. Should be a good dinner. Dave's a pretty good speaker from what I've been told. Barb, did you want to say a couple words on exchange students?
Well, the preview is Flavie is leaving Sunday. She flies out of Akron Canton at 2, probably get there around noon. So she's going. We're hoping Serena is coming. I think we said last week there's a delay. Serena did get swept up into the delay. Her visa appointment was canceled, but she's calling every day to try and get a new one. And so she'll let me know as soon as she gets one. And we are still looking for a host family. We talked to a prospective one, but we did not get a commitment. And the other 2 prospective host families have dropped out. So I need help. Start talking to people. see if they will host a young lady from Italy coming over, and she's seems very nice. She seems very friendly, athletic. I think it would be a great addition to anyone's family. So.
Anything else? Thank you. Metzger Park and Trail Cleanup is this Saturday at 9 a.m. We're meeting at Greg Anderson's house at 9 o'clock. You don't need to bring anything. You got the gloves, and we've got trash bags, and if we get a good turnout, it'll probably take an hour or so, maybe. What do we want to do about the weather in case it rains?
Well, we'll have to reschedule.
We'll have to reschedule, okay. We'll try to communicate with people, if we're going to cancel it, maybe cancel by 8 o'clock. Does that sound fair? Okay, I mean, it is supposed to rain Saturday, so we'll see what happens.
Starting at 8:30, ending at 9:30.
Yeah. I've got a sign-up sheet
That's a
for
30-minute break.
trail cleanup. If you guys want to participate, that would be great. If you can't, that's fine. But just wanted to make sure that we're got enough people to do that. Probably take an hour with 7 or 8 people, maybe an hour and a half. I put brochures for our 100-year celebration, September 27th, out at Water's Edge on the tables. Please, if you want to take some of those with you, by all means, do so. We've got plenty more where these came from. If we can get these in the windows, maybe at some businesses, or if you know somebody that would put one up for us, that would be great. Appreciate that very much. Regarding the amphitheater and some other things, you should have got an email from me this morning talking a little bit about donations and such for the amphitheater and some of the awards that we won at the district conference. Also, I'm happy to say I've gotten 2 checks today toward the amphitheater, and Jim Dutter and I went a-calling all over downtown Louisville last Thursday, and we talked probably a dozen, maybe 14 different business people and so on, and one of those people called me today, and that business is donating, in his words, at least $1,000. So I'm kind of excited to hear that. So we're making some progress. We need roughly $35,000 to get to our goal, roughly, give or take. But we're making progress. So if you haven't donated and you can help us out, that would be great. We certainly would appreciate that. I got in my email Monday night an email from Stephanie Urchik. It was regarding, basically I'll just read this one paragraph. I regret to inform you that President-elect Mario de Camargo, who is, I believe, from Brazil, has notified me of his decision to resign from his position and will not assume the role as Rotary President for 25-26. In his letter, he noted personal and business concerns, blah, blah, blah. I want to thank him for 45 years of leadership and service. So I guess the Rotary International Board is going to be meeting soon to try to figure out what they're going to do for an international president coming up here July 1st. Stephanie Urchik, who is our keynote speaker on September 27th at Water's Edge, her term expires, I think it's June 30th. So kind of stay tuned to see what happens there. Yeah.
I'd like to nominate Stephanie for another year.
I don't think you can do that, Jim, but we appreciate it. Go stand in the corner. You're gonna get us all in trouble. At any rate, we've talked about Second Friday, so that takes care of that. Our speaker today, his name is Mr. Joe French. And what is your official title at St. Thomas?
I'm the president of Stark County Catholic Schools, which is St. Thomas and St.
Okay, you heard him. You're up, dude.
All right, let's do it.
And we also should introduce his computerized sidekick because he's been doing most of the work getting this presentation together. You want to introduce him?
Sure. So this is Eric Smur. He's our director of marketing at St. Thomas. And so he's going to assist and remind me what I'm supposed to say. So it's always good to have that help. So for those of you who may or may not know me, as I said, my name is Joe French. I am an alum. I am a 1986 graduate of Louisville High School. And I was just telling Mrs. Eljancic, I currently live at Myers Lake, but I just bought a house back here in Louisville again. So I'm going to be living off of Broadway, really close to Bud's. I don't know if that's a good thing or a scary thing, or as I told my friends, I'm like, it's like within like 4 or 5 minute walk to get to Bud's, and they're like, hey, we know where our local bar is going to be. So it's good to be home. So I've been on the job for about 9 months. I started at the beginning of last school year in August, and excited to be back in the world of education. Last time I was here to speak to you, we were over at the church, and I was the president and CEO of Child and Adolescent Behavioral Health. And I always share the journey was, many of you might know my brother. He was William French, everybody called him Frenchie. And he unexpectedly passed away in March of last year at 51 years of age. And I thought, what am I doing? I'm working 60, almost 70 hours a week. I don't need to do this anymore. So I resigned from my position, had no job, and I just thought, it'll work out. We'll be fine. 3 different people, and 2 people from our community came up to me. First was Judge Park, said, hey, did you know the Catholic Schools is looking for a new president? And I said, yeah, I'm not going to work. I'm good. Thank you. Then Alan Harold came up to me and said, hey, did you know the Stark County Catholic Schools is looking for I'm not going to work. Thank you very much. I'm good. We're going to take some time off. Then my priest came up to me on a Saturday after Mass, and he said, hey, don't you have an education background? I said, I do, Father. Why? Because I don't want to teach Sunday school. I'm too old for that. And he said, no, did you know the Stark County Catholic Schools is looking for a new president? And I thought, okay, God, I guess you're telling me something here that I should look into the job. And lo and behold, in June, they hired me, and I said, listen, I'm not starting until August because I need to take some time and kind of heal a little bit, and then I'll be more than happy to start. So exciting things are happening at both of our Catholic schools, but I'm going to specifically talk today about St. Thomas, because many times you hear things that are in the community about some of the negativity and some of the things that have been going on, and I can tell you that I've been there a year, and 99% of what you hear is not true. There's a lot of things, being right on 62, people see things and make assumptions, and so I've always been very mindful of that and very excited about the things that we're doing at St. Thomas. So with that, I'm going to kind of give you a quick year in review of some of the things that we were kind of talking about a little bit at my table. First of all, you all know that we have a priest shortage, and it's really difficult. So Father Homer House here in St. Louis is, that did nothing. There you go. It's a little better.
Let me try one more.
All right,
You
please.
can put up with it.
We'll take them all off.
Let's see what we got. Don't be afraid.
There we go. That's pretty good.
Are you okay?
Wow.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
So one of the things that I was mentioning is at our table that, Father Homer House is our chaplain at St. Louis, or at St. Thomas. And because he now oversees 5 different parishes, we get him once a month to do Mass. We've always done Mass at least once a week. And now because of the priest shortage, we're down to once a month. So one of the things that I really was a proponent of this year is that we're going to have some lay religious in our chapel where kids can come and have reflection time and spend some time with some of our religious, even though they might not be ordained. Couple things in this picture that we're super excited about. Thank God for bingo. Bingo still happens every Sunday at St. Thomas. And I hear that they leave us and then go over to Sacred Heart of Mary and play, because we're earlier than Sacred Heart of Mary is a little bit later. We're very proud to say that this year we went over the $1 million mark of revenue from bingo to support our schools. So that is an amazing thing. It's a great revenue generator. And many of the people that play say the only reason I play here is because we know the money goes back to the kids. So it's a wonderful thing. We opened a new Learning Commons. You can see The person's head that's in the clock is Representative Olseger. We were in the midst of finishing it. It is completely done now. It's dedicated to our class of 1968 because 1968 was the first graduating class from, and Denny was there. He came and saw it, right? It looks beautiful.
I passed.
It looks really good. And we're very proud that our kids can go in there and use it as, it's the old library, and now it's more of a place for students to do independent learning, group projects, things like that. Here where you can see the bishop, that's our Chrism Mass. We haven't been able to go to that Mass in 5 years because of COVID. And so this year was the first year that kids were invited back to that Mass. So we had 7 kids from Central and 7 kids from St. Thomas go and participate in the Chrism Mass, which was really exciting. We also had our senior trip this year. They got to go to New York City. It's been a while since we've done a senior trip with our seniors, and they had a great time and loved it. We also, while we were there, they got to do Mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral, which was, again, a highlight for the trip. And then you can see over here, we have 2 of our seniors, Luca and Mira. They just graduated, and then Rachel's from Central. Q92 and Donnie Peterson has been incredibly kind to our Catholic schools, giving us radio time for free. And so, again, our students just went on, talked about graduation and what their next steps are in their kind of process. Most recently, we're really kind of been highlighting our alumni, and we were able to give out our Distinguished Alumni Award to both Avril and Richard, and they came and spoke at our awards banquet this year. Eric Dublicar there is going to be recognized tonight as one of the 20 under 40, also a graduate. Nick Colley from the Houston Texans is a graduate. He's the defensive coordinator for the Texans, and he started his career at St. Thomas. And then every year we do something called our Alumni Memorial Mass, where we invite all of our alumni back and we recognize those fallen knights that have passed away. And so Father Dyer is still involved at St. Thomas. If many of you know him, he's a wonderful man. We got him back involved, and he always conducts that Mass for us. So sports, we haven't had the best reputation. I know Rob and I were talking not too long ago, and our football team was tied with Minerva as the worst losing records in history. We had one of us, we played each other. Unfortunately, Minerva won by 3 points. So their streak ended. Ours continued. And we're happy to say that our streak has ended. We won a game against Crestline, and I happened to be at that game, and it was incredible to watch the kids see their hard work come to fruition. Our league is disbanded, so we don't have to play certain teams anymore that were much larger than us. And so we're able to kind of schedule now with smaller schools. Total population of our school is about 410. So we have both 6th grade and 6th through 12th grade. On the high school side, we're about 250-ish. And then on the middle school side, we sit at 160. So the middle school was created because St. Louis School closed. And so there was no place for kids on this side to go unless they went towards Alliance, right? And so now kids from 6th through 12th grade can attend St. Thomas. Our baseball team actually won a sectional game, and so we were excited about their success. You can see some of our wrestlers up there. Those 5 boys all qualified for the first time. We had 5 boys qualify for districts for the first time since 1990. Our soccer team is probably one of the best in the area, and we're super excited about our basketball team winning some. Our middle school teams won some championships. We haven't had a girls softball team in 2 years because we just didn't have the players. We have enough to have a team this year, and so there was an article in the newspaper. They won their final 2 games. And again, broke a long losing streak. And so we're excited about the kids seeing success. I always tell them, you don't come here for sports. You come here because you are going to get the best education. Sports are secondary, but they certainly teach you things. And so we're excited that our sports teams are starting to see some success. So as I said, we have about 410 kids enrolled. They have to do community service. So our kids this year clocked over 5,000 hours in community service. So again, if you all need kids, let me know. We will do our best to get you volunteers because they need the hours. So anything that you need, we could possibly assist with you in that. We awarded over $150,000 in scholarships for kids. We always say, we never want you to say that you can't attend because of cost. We have incredible donors who give money to help with the difference. So let's talk about that for a second, because there's something called Ed Choice. You've all seen all the stuff about what's going on, that public schools feel like we're taking money from them, and I can tell you it's a separate line item. It has nothing to do with the public schools line item. However, what I do want to say is it does not cover full tuition. So we charge almost $11,000 to go to high school, okay? The most you can get from Ed Choice is $8,000. So there's about a $3,000 gap for parents. So we try to say, first of all, I don't believe you value anything that you get for free. So there has to be skin in the game. So every parent is required to pay something, okay? Number two, we have incredible donors that say, we want to make sure Catholic education is affordable to those who want to attend. And so that's where the $150,000 in scholarships comes in. Our kids have completed over 70 hours in College Credit Plus. That means they're doing college work at the high school level. We had a young man who is a 10th grader who has graduated with an associate's degree already by doing the CCP work. So we're giving them a leg up to make sure that they are ready when they go onto college, that a lot of that's going to be covered. And the CCP courses that we offer transfer to any school in the state of Ohio. Now, if they go outside of the state of Ohio, I'm sure they're going to have to take a look at that, but they all do transfer within the state of Ohio. We have had 100%, and I don't think we've ever not had 100% graduation, and every one of our kids had a post-secondary commitment. We knew where they were going. 95% of our kids go on to four-year universities. We had kids this year that said, I'm going to go into trade. Then we also had kids that one of our young men went into the Navy this year. So 100% of our kids had a career path once they graduated from, again, we're smaller, 17-to-1 class sizes. We know your name. We're going to help you get wherever you want to go in your career. In the pictures here too, here in this picture is Bridget. Bridget is a sophomore and she qualified to the national, and well, first she's qualified at state and then went on. She is going next week to Iowa to compete in the national speech and debate competition. So she qualified to nationals. Magley here in the middle was our Eagle of the Cross Award, which recognizes outstanding juniors and seniors across the entire diocese in Youngstown. We had our two plays. At the top is our what we call our fall play, but it was a Christmas story takeoff, and it was hysterical, and it sold out all three performances. And then our musical is combined with Central, and it was at the Palace Theater, and they did Sound of Music this year. If you did not get a chance to attend, it was outstanding. Like, the girl that played Maria, I'm like, you need to continue. Never has taken a voice lesson in her life. And I was like, you are incredible. And I said, I would have paid a Broadway ticket price to see it. It was that good. And then up in the top corner, you can see me. I started something called President's Club. So 8 kids are picked every time to come and have lunch with me once a month. And we talk about, what can we do to make your school better? What can we do to help you succeed? What are some of the things that we can do? What do we do well? What are the things, again, that we can do better? And I feed them Chipotle. So let me just tell you, they're standing saying, can I be picked? Can I be picked? Actually, one of the seniors walked across the stage and I was shaking his hand, congratulating him. And he said, so no more Chipotle, right? I said, no, you're on your own now. You have to buy your own Chipotle. So So what's coming next? So we're excited about these partnerships. So Stark State College, we are now going to offer kids the opportunity to take classes towards a business and accounting degree, starting with our junior class. We continue to do our partnership with Walsh. That's where our CCP classes are taken. And then Altman College, we started a new partnership starting next year. We have 5 kids signed up. They will start towards a nursing degree while they're juniors. So we're very excited about that new partnership. And again, you can see our kids, our sophomores, got a chance to go and tour Walsh. And as you all know, if you don't know Dr. Collins, every Swords Up, they did Swords Up. Is there anything else I was supposed to say? Okay. Oh, gosh. So when I first started, Cindy came over because Cindy's son is a graduate of St. Thomas. And so she came over and said, I want to introduce myself and I'd like to do a feature. So we have a wonderful partnership now with Louisville Neighbors. We're also, she does Plain Living. So we're going to be advertising in those and having a really positive relationship with Cindy. Of course, Rob and Spotlight here in Louisville has done a really nice job in partnership of helping us promote our sports. And again, really promoting the school. And then Q92, as I mentioned before, Donnie Peterson. So our administration team, so Scott Gianmarco is our vice principal over the high school. Jessica Emmerich is our principal over the middle school. And then Nick Stanek is our athletic director. I made the decision this year because I feel like we really needed to concentrate on sports. Nick was a math teacher and the athletic director part-time. I have made the athletic director position a full-time position. I want us to be very cognizant of making sure that we are doing right by our kids when it comes to sports. So Nick is. And then we're going to have a new graphic arts class this year. We got 3D printers. We got the printers to make banners and all these kind of things. I just need somebody to now teach it so our kids can use those and be hands-on. So we have a couple alumni engagement opportunities coming up. The Stack, you have to be an alumni or somehow associated with St. Thomas or Central, and they play, and whoever's team wins becomes the winner of that year. So it's, again, promoting that rivalry between Central and St. Thomas. And then we have the Father Dyer Scholarship Golf Invitational that's coming up on August 28th. Again, Father Dyer has been a long, I think he said his first graduating class was 50 years ago in 1975. And so I said, well, that's funny because my first graduating class was 2025. So we're 50 years apart here. But again, he is very much the foundation. I always say I stand on the shoulders that come before me, and it's definitely his shoulders. So this is new too. Next year, we're going to integrate a new STEM curriculum through WAZED. You might recognize the name Steve Wozniak. Steve is the co-founder of Apple. And so he has started a STEM programming. And so we're going to actually have that program in our science classes from 6th through 12th grade. And so next year will be the first year that we implement WAZED. And so you can see the kids are actually flying the drones. They'll not only fly them, they'll program them. They will do coding. You name it, the kids will be very much instrumental in their own hands-on learning, which we're very excited about. So what's next? So we're one of the things that we have talked about is our building needs a facelift. It's been 60 years since we've done a capital campaign. So if you've been to the building, it still looks like that. And when I came, I said, we need to spit shine this puppy because it needs some help. So some of the things that we're going to do is the roof has not been touched. It's a flat roof, so many of you might know what that does. It's not a good thing. The roof alone is an $800,000 budget item. And then this is our current field. And so the actual field itself has not been replaced since, I think they said it was 95. No, I'm sorry, that's wrong. 2005. So it's been 20 years since the field has been replaced, so it needs to be replaced. As the track wasn't touched since 2004, so we need to, there's lots of holes and stuff in the tracks, so that has to get replaced too. Our bathrooms are the same bathrooms from 1960. Well, the first graduating class was 68, so I would tell you it's probably been at least that long. So they need to be replaced. Our weight room, which I'm sure many of you won't be surprised, when the building was first built, there was a girl's side and a boy's side, right? They did not merge as co-education until 1971. So the weight room has no way for the girls to get into the weight room unless they go outside and around the corner and go in the weight room, because they would have to go through the boys' locker room to get to the weight room. And of course, the boys are typically in there. And so we have designed a way that there will be a corridor through for the girls to be able to access the weight room. And so this is kind of a rendering of what that weight room will ultimately, hopefully, look like sometime soon. This is what we're hoping the new field will look like. And then trainer room needs desperately updated as well. And then our wrestling program is exploding. And so it's in a very small space with one mat. This appears like it's only one mat, but there will be multiple mats in this expansion. But this is, again, the weight room, the wrestling room that will be expanded as well. So those are kind of the exciting things that are currently going on. One of the things that I have to tell you that I think is really important is, faith is at the center of what we do. Or you wouldn't choose, obviously, a faith-based Catholic program. So we talked about the 410, and a lot of times you hear, well, what kind of kids are you getting? And my mantra has been, you don't want to be here, leave. We have rules. We have very strict rules. So my first fight was the girls with nose rings. It's a distraction. Take it out. You don't come to Catholic school with a nose ring in. Were there fights? Yes. So I said the choice is you leave it in and you leave and you don't come back. Or you take it out and come and get your education. I had a young man early on too said, Mr. French, I heard you have this rule about tattoos. And I said, I do. And he's like, what is it? And I said, they can't be showing. And if you want a tattoo, I hope you enjoy wearing long sleeves for the rest of the time that you're here at St. Thomas Aquinas High School. And he's like, all right, I won't get one until I'm ready to graduate. And I said, okay. So we're at a basketball game, and we're playing Ursuline, which is, the Catholic school up in Youngstown. And there's a kid on their basketball team. I'm not joking. His tattoo started here, went up his arm, all the way up to under his neck. Of course, Josh saw this. And he's like, Mr. French, look at that. I said, Josh, he's not mine. You are. You go to my school. He doesn't. And if he played for us, he would have a turtleneck on because he would not be able to show those tattoos. He's like, all right, fair. So one of the things that we're really trying to get back to is, again, these are the rules. You must follow these rules. And if you don't want to follow the rules, don't come to St. Thomas Aquinas. It's that simple. It's just that simple. And I asked 25 kids this year to leave. You're not going to follow my rules? Go. I told my board, I know it's an economic thing because that's tuition that we're losing. But if we're serious about it, we got to be serious about it and get back to the basics of what we know is good and what we know is best for kids. No distractions. You must follow our dress codes. You must follow our rules. You must follow everything, or don't come to school here. It's that simple. And it really has changed our culture, and we're really excited about the future. And I just really appreciate you guys giving me the time to talk about the school that sits off of 62, and just tell you again, if you ever, and Mr. Valentine has been there, we are really trying hard to make sure that it is something that our alum can be proud of. We have a mural in the new Learning Commons, and lots of kids will stop and look at the pictures, and they're old pictures way back to 1968, and they like to comment about glasses and hairstyles and all those kind of things. But I always tell them, I really want you to look at these pictures. You're part of something bigger than you. It's called tradition. And so something to be proud of is tradition. So you are part of this. So don't make these people disappointed in what you're doing. right? Because we've all, girls, come on. They all rolled up those skirts way back in 1968. People were telling me stories about Sister Magdalena and making you get down on your knees and making sure the skirt hit the ground. And yeah, those things are still in place. But we are very proud of what we're trying to do. And again, if you're an alum or you have somebody in your family that's an alum, I always say come home. I would be more than happy to give you a tour and show you the things that we're trying to accomplish. So again, I'll take any questions if you have them, but I think my time is up, and I just appreciate you guys giving me this opportunity. So
Thank you.
thank you.
So Denny, did you graduate from Aquinas in '68?
Somehow.
Did you have hair back then?
Oh,
Elvis? Cool. Good stuff. You look good? Good for you. All right. Miss Trisha. I don't know how many marbles are in there, but not too many. If you pull the clear one, how much does she get, Shondor? $212. All right. Sorry. And there's not many left in there. Next Wednesday at noon, I believe our gentleman is going to be talking about his trip to Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Don? Yep, Mr. McCauley. Anything else for the good of the club? Going once, going twice. Thank you.